Welcome to MotivationAddict.com with Julie Salon. This is where you will find inspiring stories on how to motivate yourself and gain momentum towards success, turning fear into confidence, and how to find divine flow, allowing you to crush your goals. Thank you for being here. And now, let's tune in to today's show.
Hey everyone, Julie Salon for Motivation Addict. I am super excited today. I have on a tremendous guest. Her name is Pamela Cummins. She is the author of 6 books. She's a dream interpreter and an intuitive coach. She helps her clients and students take their nighttime messages and turn them into daytime wisdom to accelerate their personal and spiritual growth. Welcome to the show, Pamela. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be here. I am excited.
I am too. So let's jump right in because I don't know anything about what a dream interpreter does other than what it might intuitively say. So can you give us a little bit of background on kind of what you do and how it started?
Okay. Well, first of all, as the saying goes, doctor, heal thyself. Okay. And many years ago, I'm aging myself, but back in the early 90s, when I started my personal and spiritual growth, I started having a lot of dreams. And a lot of it I didn't understand, but intuitively, since I was working on my childhood stuff, and I won't go into that, I knew that it was about that. So I found a therapist who helped me interpret my own dreams. And yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I was very lucky to find her. I believe that everything happens for a reason. And I feel like this was not a coincidence, a godcidence, as they say.
Oh, okay.
She was really good. And she basically helped me learn to interpret my own dreams. And of course, I did a lot of studying. And when I started interpreting my dreams and getting used to the symbolism, that's when my psychic abilities came out, my intuitive abilities, because I repressed them as a child because it wasn't safe. And I just thought,
Hallelujah. I hear you. I hear you.
People are becoming more open-minded, and I don't blame, my family, society. That's just the way it was. And
it was, right.
And we still have things we need to work on, we're a work in progress, all of us. But because I saw how dream interpretation changed my own life, I wanted to spread it. When you find something good, you're like, this is wonderful. Let me tell the world, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So that's what I did. And I started with my friends and my family and whoever would let me. And I read as much as I could about it. And I found I didn't connect with dream interpretation dictionaries. I just felt those weren't right. Symbolism books seemed to help me more. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. And eventually, when I started my practice and, I did a whole bunch of different healing stuff, but eventually that came into it. So as far as how I work with people, I will interpret someone's dream, but honestly, I like to teach them to do it themselves. It's that,
does everybody have this ability, do you think?
To learn, I believe we all have the ability, and I'm going to use, I like analogies. So we all have intuition.
Right.
Okay. And most people can sing, all right? Unless you're mute, then you can't sing. Some people sing beautifully. Some people need help with singing, but they have a decent voice.
Mm-hmm.
And then some people you really don't want to sing at all. And it's the same thing with intuition and dream interpretation. We all have it. We all have this ability, right? Unless you're brain dead, okay?
Yep.
But we all have this ability. Some people can, boom, do it right away. Some people need a little help to learn how to do it. And it's always a work in progress. And some people, especially those with a very logical, scientific mind, it's not going to work so well. But however, those people will probably enjoy Freud and Jung. And I personally don't like Freud. I think that he was a big pervert. That's my personal opinion. Okay? But some people really love him. And Carl Jung, I feel, is more open. And I appreciate both those men because they brought dream interpretation more into the mainstream. Do you need to have, because I'm not a psychologist or tryst, I always get those confused. Do you need to have a degree? Not necessarily, okay? I mean, for instance, post-traumatic stress disorder
Yeah.
dreams, right? I'm not going to work with anyone unless they're with a medical doctor or they are in counseling, because there's stuff there that I can't help them with. However, interpreting their dreams, and figuring out the different dream categories, I can help them with.
I completely understand, because I feel the same way, right? So we need to have medical doctors and therapists in place that have had all that training that can accentuate our gifts,
Right.
And give that person the support, because we can only do our own sphere of genius, right? So I completely understand that. Can you tell me, because I didn't know this, what are the categories for dream?
Okay. Well, and we'll talk about dream dictionaries. Well, there's
I didn't even know there was a dream dictionary, so I'm excited. This is cool.
Oh, okay. So you have, all right.
I'm ground zero, so.
And sometimes I have to remember that some people don't know anything about this, all right? There's different types. For example, I call them environment dreams. So you might have a dream where you need to find a restroom and you're looking all over because you really have to go, okay? Yeah. And you find a bathroom, but it has no door on it. Or, there's people standing around it, or they're all taken. Well, that is an environment dream. You wake up and you gotta go. You jump out of bed and you gotta go. So that's your body letting you know that, hey, you have this urgency, and if you don't get up, you're going to be embarrassed. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Then with the environment dream, it's also a protection dream. So if there's someone creeping outside of your house, you might have a scary dream that wakes you up.
Yep.
Right? Or you might, if the house is on fire, you might have a dream about fire or start to feel really warm. It really is self-preservation. All right.
Wow.
Yeah. But so that's one. And I'm doing this off at the top of my head. One of my favorites, or I like them all, is solution dreams. They give us solutions. I think, now it might have been Albert Einstein or Thomas Edison. I remember when I studied hypnosis, one of my hypnosis teachers said that he would have a problem, have two metal balls in his hand, take a nap, right? Ask for a solution, and he'd go into a dream state and get a solution in his dream, and the ball would drop out of his hands. There's scientists who have actually found solutions. I think it's Elijah Howe, I hope I'm saying the name correctly, that couldn't figure out how to work a sewing needle in a machine, what he had this dream, instead of putting at the top of the needle, to put it at the bottom of the needle. And that's how he got solutions.
Wow.
Okay? So you can do that in your own life. Sometimes you do have a solution. You might see your significant other with someone else, and you see yourself breaking up with them. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to say that just because you had that dream, that's actually happening. That can be your fears and insecurities. But if you don't know whether or not to take a job, you can ask the night before, or you might have to do it over, and your dream will give you a message.
I've heard that you're supposed to ask a question before you go to bed that you'd like an answer to. And then, of course, your subconscious will work on that as you're sleeping. And then that comes out in the form of a dream?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
correct.
Okay.
Correct. And I'll give you a couple more, and for sake of time, I won't go into them. But I'm going to do my two more of my favorites.
Yeah, sure.
Precognitive dreams. All right. And this is actually, precognitive dreams is when the therapist that I told you back in the early 90s, this is why we broke up. I started having precognitive dreams. This is how my psychic abilities came out. And it freaked her out.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that's, people seem to go to me for spiritual stuff, the more woo-woo stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is a good way of putting it. But I started having precognitive dreams of the future. And is it all right if I tell you this one?
Sure.
And
yeah.
and if anyone's heard me before, you might have heard this story,
Okay.
but this is really what helped me, is I had this dream about this man in my childhood gymnasium. And we didn't really talk much, right? He had a beard and a mustache. He was cute, blue eyes. But there was this feeling that I had, and feelings are very important in dreams. It was a feeling that he wanted to control me and not let me be me. Okay?
Okay.
So it was kind of weird. And that could have been like past boyfriends, male authority figures. It could have been a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
But fast forward a month or so, I met the guy and he looked exactly as he did in this dream. Now that's unusual to meet someone who looks to the T in the dream, okay?
Wow.
And what was really amazing is I got the same feeling, okay? But I was young and stupid and inexperienced, okay? And that's how we learn. So I was, back then there were no cell phones. I gave him my land.
Right, I get it. I get it. For all your listeners out there who are millennials, there was a time where there was no internet, no cell phones, and nobody had computers in their houses. Just
Right. But so I gave him my number and we went out a couple times and I got that feeling, especially like the second time, that I had in the dream. And I just knew he wanted to control me. And, I was learning to be me and get in touch with me and the self-love and all that stuff. So I nipped it in the bud. Well, I found out later through the grapevine that he had been married 3 times, right? Now, at the time, I think I was 29 or 30, and he might have been a couple of years older. So that just shows you how unhealthy he was.
Right.
And that's what really started me understanding precognitive dreams. And they can come in many different forms. Like, for instance, they can be symbolic. Some people, and I have to say I'm very grateful, some people will have dreams of disasters or, God forbid, murders and stuff like that. Okay?
Yeah.
And there's kind of like a feeling with that, because I know somebody's like, well, how can I tell? And really it's experience. But it's like your intuition. It's getting in touch with your intuition.
Right.
Because that's in a sense what it is. It's just you're sleeping and it's being shown in a different way, okay, a different manner.
Okay.
But your intuition, you have to learn to trust that. And it's the same thing with the precognitive dreams. And sometimes they have to play out.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Right. And
that's
then,
so cool, though. That's really cool that you dreamed that and then he showed up.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And I believe that was my lesson. So many years later, I could show that. Now, did he necessarily have to look exactly the way in the dream? No. It could have been someone completely different, but I would have remembered that dream, because precognitive dreams stand out. You have some dreams and you forget about them.
Yeah.
You wake up, within minutes they're gone.
Yeah.
That's why you should journal them. But there's other dreams that really stick with you.
Right.
Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Even to those people who don't, like, for instance, my significant other, he doesn't remember his dreams, but occasionally there's a few that he will remember because he's supposed to.
Yeah, you get a doozy sometimes where you're either, for me, I get really, I'm really scared, I'm fleeing for my life, I'm nervous, or something big where you actually wake up and it's really with you still.
Right.
And those are the ones that they seem to have more strength than the ones that just, you wake up and it's just nothing. You forgot it by noon,
Right. And this is my personal opinion, but I think it's your guides, your angels are saying, you need to remember this because you need to deal with this.
Okay.
That's the way. And then the last dream category, okay, because I did say I had 2.
Yep.
Is, because I get a lot of questions on this, is visitations from those who have crossed over.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
And that happens a lot, especially when they just crossed over. People will say, I had this dream of them, or it can happen years later. Okay. And just a quick way to tell the difference. All right. Visitation, when they actually do appear in your dream, and I know there's no scientific proof of this, of life after death. Okay. Yep. I know there is, but
I know there is too, but
not everybody does. All right. But because people will like, how do I know? A visitation dream, for the most part, not always, okay, but we only have so much time, feels like an actual visit.
Right.
So they may hug you, they may say, I'm okay. They might not speak anything at all. You just might feel this overwhelming sense of love. They might say, you're going to find my will at the bottom of my dresser or in the back of my closet. It's going to be like, or you just might just be hanging out. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now to know that it's not a visitation dream, and again, this might not be always, there's always an exception, is usually your personal issues. You might be angry at them for leaving or things they've done in the past. You might be crying. You might be joyful or whatever feeling. But usually it's a negative feeling that there's some unresolved issues.
Right. Maybe feeling alone because they left, and you're very abandoned. That connection is not there anymore.
Correct. Yeah. So that's your mind working things out.
How often do we dream?
Well,
is it really every night? Because I really don't remember a lot of these. I remember, like you said, only the big ones that once seemed to have more impact, but so many times I'm like, what's the significance if we're dreaming, but we don't keep it with us? So we're kind of not learning the lesson. I guess I'm just curious. How often?
Well, according to science, you can dream up to 10 times a night. There's REM state, okay?
Right.
And they've done studies.
Right.
And they'll wake people up, and especially in the REM state, okay? They will wake you up. Now, in the beginning, when you first go into the REM, is supposedly the longest dreams. And again, I'm not a scientist. I would suggest Googling. But as you go towards the end, they become shorter and shorter. No, you can't. Can I ask you, can you remember what you had a month ago today?
No.
Yeah, what you ate, okay?
No.
What you ate, what you wore,
no.
Okay? You can't remember. Sometimes you might remember certain things. Okay.
Right.
And it's the same thing with a dream. And people will say, how come I can't remember my past lives? Because you can't. Subconsciously, and if you want to say the superconscious, all right, we remember everything.
Right.
We remember everything. That's why these memories that you're like, you forgot. Have you ever forgot someone you went to school with existed?
Yeah.
I had that.
Yeah.
I remember going to my high school reunion and I'm like, I forgot that woman even existed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So oh yeah, totally.
If you remembered every single dreams that you ever had, I don't think we could handle it mentally.
Probably not.
Handle it because they're so weird. Dreams are very weird.
Yeah, they really are. Time collapses or extends. The people that you think you might know in the dream take on different roles, and their face can change, and things just seem very wonky out there. It's not like a system like you have in real life, right? It's your brain kind of projecting what could happen or what well, you'll have to tell me. So how the dream language. That's why I have one book, Learn the Secret Language of Dreams. It doesn't work like daytime language. Right.
Okay. It's totally, it's symbolic, it's emotions, it depends upon your past experience, your present problems, the future. There's so many different things. And that's why, when people go, I'll take this course, I'll look up my meaning in a dream dictionary. That's a whole nother, you're not going to learn it overnight. I've been doing this since the early 90s.
Wow.
I still have dreams that I'm like, and what's really amazing is when with my clients, usually I intuitively feel what the right interpretation is, but I always give them at least 2, maybe 3 different interpretations, and sometimes they can be all of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. That's why when somebody says it's this, a lot of times it's like intuition.
Right.
When you've got feeling, it's like that feels right. But it can be more.
Wow.
And it's the same thing with a precognitive dream. You might have a precognitive dream, certain events go in the future and you're thinking, oh, that's it, right?
Yeah.
And then later on find, yes, it included that, but it's even more.
Something totally different or more than. Yeah.
More than.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
because your subconscious mind, the language, if you want to call it God language or whatever, is very complicated.
Yes.
You know, to somebody on the other side, oh, that's simple. But for us humans,
Yeah,
we're trapped in time and space, okay?
Right.
And especially with the big ego there, okay?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we don't want to say, oh, no, it can't be that.
Right.
Okay?
Right. I got it. How can the audience start remembering their dreams then? If we're we wake up, and I know I tried a dream journal once, but it seemed a little hard because sometimes you have to catch it right away. So what's your best thoughts on how they can start remembering them?
Okay. The first thing is intention.
Oh.
Okay?
Oh, okay. I didn't think of that. Okay.
Yeah, intention, because you're like, I started it. And the follow through. That's the hard thing.
Okay.
I like to compare it to like you're going to work out. Okay.
Okay, I got it now. I got it.
Yeah, you're going to work out. So yes, you have to have the intention of that. Then having something to record your dreams, because you're like, oh, I'll remember that. Then the dog wants your attention. Your child, Mother Nature's calling, and you forget.
Yeah.
Unless it's one of those really powerful dreams that they're saying, you're not going to forget that one.
Right.
Okay, but that doesn't happen. So you need something to record your dream in, and preferably on the bed. Okay. And again, it's like you get your workout clothes, whether it's a yoga mat and your yoga outfit or a gym. You have that. Okay. And then just like you psych yourself up the night before to go, then you say, I will remember my dreams. You can meditate that. You could, during the day, I'm going to remember my dreams. I'm going to remember my dreams. And then you see yourself actually writing down or recording your dream. Before you go to sleep, write yourself a letter, put it underneath your bed. And these days, because a lot of times we're still on our devices right before I read on my tablet, right?
I know.
It's time. Let me check my email one more time.
I know.
So use your smartphone or your tablet or whatever and write that down. Before, as you're putting your head on your pillow, you can say, I will remember my dreams. I will remember my dreams. And just like it takes you sometimes a lot before you actually go to the studio or the gym. It might take you a while before you remember your dream. Wow. And then record it. And you do really need to continue to record it. I recorded my dreams probably for I'm going to say 8 years continuously. Wow. Then I got my cat Midnight, who's no longer alive. And I got her, and then I tried to record my dreams, and she was just like, what are you doing? And swatted my pen, get up, feed me, I need attention. And that's how I stopped recording my dreams. But even today, if I have a really powerful dream, I'll type it. I'll write it down. Right. Or I'll go over it again and again and again. So it's like indented in my mind.
Wow.
And okay, so that helps you. So I'm going to go, if it's okay, why do you need to record your dreams?
Yeah.
Okay. People are like, well, why do I need to?
Right.
Because you need to see the patterns.
I was just going to ask you, so out of that 8 years, what patterns did you see?
Oh my God, so many.
Really?
So many. It helped me learn my symbolism. It helped me learn the different dream categories.
Wow.
In fact, okay, I'm remembering this one dream. It's so long ago, and I was single for many years, many years, and I lived across the fire department. And I asked, right before I went to bed, I'm like, when am I gonna find love, right? And I woke up, and I had this dream that the firemen were singing, "You can't hurry, love. No, you just." Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was like, I don't know why this dream is coming up, maybe somebody listening, but that I knew immediately, because I get a lot of messages in song. That was my angels and guides saying it's not time yet. And the firemen who are across the street, because me and my girlfriends used to check them out, are not the right ones for me.
Wow.
So it's like a double. But how did I know that? From writing down my dreams and getting used to it. It's just like anything else. You
It's
know,
just like just discipline, just like you said, going to work out, you set the intention. It might take you a
right,
little while to get there, but after a while you get into routine.
right. And then
Feels like the
just like
same thing.
with yoga, when you try and touch your toes, right? A lot of times you might only come up to your thighs or your kneecaps. It takes time to reach the floor. And it's the same thing with dreams. And you see your own symbolism,
Yeah.
and you'll see how, oh, I know why I had that dream, because I was fighting with this person, or I was angry at them and I didn't express it.
Yeah.
Or like with that precognitive dream, okay? Now that one I remembered, but other ones, that I've had, my clients have, they can go back and look at it.
Yeah.
And that's why I ask with my clients, please record them and preferably write them down, but we can, so you remember them.
Right,
So
right.
we can see the patterns. For instance, I had this one woman who was living in a home that was on the market, but wasn't being able to sell. And she had all these dreams. And to me, not to her, it was very obvious that the house was going to sell soon and you need to be prepared.
Oh,
And
wow.
of course it did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's fascinating. I mean, I think there are some dreams that I feel like I might be able to figure this out for myself. If I had a fight with somebody, or if I'm repressing something and I kind of know I'm repressing it. But obviously there are some that make no sense whatsoever. I mean, I can be on a planet and, these aliens are around and I'm running and I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, so when somebody brings you in, do they have a specific question, or do they just say, I had this dream and what does it mean? Simple.
A lot of times they do say, I had this dream. What does it mean?
Okay.
Okay. I don't understand. Or could it mean this?
Okay.
They will do that. Now let's take the, planet running away from the aliens. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it could be a lot of things. You might feel alienated and different from others. Okay. Or there's somebody in your life who is definitely so different from you. You need to get away from that.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
Right? Or you're feeling insecure that you feel like you're on another planet. And another thing, it could be an environment dream and you've been watching too much science fiction.
Yeah. Okay? Yeah. Because I watch a lot of science fiction.
Okay. So
that's going to feed it probably.
Right. Exactly.
But I always felt that I've never fit in because of my gifts.
Right.
Because I don't do what everybody else does and I don't think the way they do. So I've never felt, so actually alien planets are comfortable for me. It's whatever's chasing me is not comfortable, but I'm not like freaked out like everybody else is. So yeah, that's definitely part of it.
Right. And then the other thing is, what are you running away from that you don't feel comfortable and you feel different?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that's, do you see how I gave so many different things?
Yeah.
And quite honestly, it could be all of them.
Right.
But you know intuitively, yes, this is this.
What if you give 3 or 4, you kind of throw out 3 or 4 solutions and they're like, that doesn't feel like anything. I don't resonate with any of that.
I've never had that happen.
Never had that happen. Okay. Well, that's because your angels and your guides are giving you that information and your intuition and your experience.
Yes, it's my experience as a dream interpreter to help figure it out. Right. And it is also intuition. And there's times, and I love using this example because to me it was like a no-brainer to figure out. I had this woman, okay, she actually came for a psychic reading, all right, but she had this dream. Yeah. Because I've done psychic readings. I do both, okay. But she said, well, let me tell you this dream I had, because she knew I interpreted dreams. She's like, I was in the kitchen with my mom. My boyfriend was there, and my ring finger, her marriage finger, had a burn mark on it. And I knew immediately what it meant, okay?
What did it mean?
Sorry. It meant that this man, who she wanted to have like a family with, I mean, the kitchen is the hearth of the home, where the family meets. It's always very domesticated, right?
Right.
She wanted marriage from this man. This man was not interested, And if she felt like this man was going to marry her, she was going to get burned.
Wow.
Okay? And she was like, oh no, this man is my soulmate. You are completely wrong. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, intuitively, I'm getting that. But, you know, take it with a grain of salt, put it in the back of your mind. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
And fast forward 8 months later, I get an email. You were right.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So sometimes people are like, no, it can't be that.
I think sometimes we're not honest with ourselves because we don't want to see things. And that's a given, no matter, you know, sometimes we don't want to see the bad in somebody, or we want something so badly that we're willing to take that chance and say, that's baloney. That's not true. Even if you know inside, we've all done that. Our ego takes over. We shut our hearts down. But that's the whole point, though, I would think, of you doing what you do, is to connect people with that information so that they can really maybe, it's kind of like if you have a map and I don't have a map and you can see there's a big ditch in front of me, I want you to tell me there's a big ditch in front so I can kind of try to overstep it, right? But at the end of the day, ultimately, it's their decision.
Well, what I heard was hot. Okay.
Wow.
So you can tell it's a child, don't touch that. Okay.
Right.
I actually had my cat Midnight, who was living in New Jersey at the time, in the old-fashioned furnaces that don't have cover, and she wanted to jump, and I'm like, no, hot, and she just went meow, and she jumped at it. Ah! You know, she jumped off.
Oh.
You know, people have to learn. Now, with that, I'm going back to that dream with that guy who I dreamed about. I could have said, oh, but he was very good looking. He's so good looking. And I, you know, at the time I wasn't very comfortable being alone, and I could have chose. I had the free will to choose, and it would have been it would have been a horrible relationship. Okay. I probably would have been emotionally abused, maybe, who knows, physically, but definitely emotionally, mentally abused. Right. I took heed of that dream because and that's maybe why he came looking exactly the way he did.
Right.
He totally freaked me out.
Kind of like the universe saying, you know what, just so that we make sure that she doesn't miss this,
yes,
I'm going to give her exactly what she dreamed, so she cannot make the mistake of going, oh, well, it's not kind of, sort of, but no, this is it. This is your, you know, sometimes they give us really big signs. Like, hey. So yeah, it's just a matter of, wow, that's amazing that you had that dream though, and he looked exactly like that.
And you know, that's very rarely happened again. And it's very rarely for other people, because usually they come in forms of somebody else, especially if it's a loved one. Yes. You don't want to see that this loved one it will come in the form of somebody else so you can handle it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes perfect sense.
You know, and I've learned, and there was a time when it came to dreams and when I gave readings, I really wanted to help people and I really wanted them to do what the information, and now I've learned, here's the information. I would highly suggest you do this. But they have the free will to do what they want.
Yes.
You know, they have the free will, and just a lot of times people kind of know what their dreams mean anyhow. Yeah. In a sense. And then others are just so wacky, and I can help them with the wacky ones. But again, I'd like them to learn how to do this on their own, but it's with everything else. It takes commitment. I mean, how many times would people want to learn the guitar? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It takes time and discipline. I hear people, you know, I want a dog, I want a cat. Well, you have to have the responsibility of having that. And that's I want to learn how to, you know, interpret my dreams. I want to learn how to get in touch with my angels and guides. It all takes time. However, and I know I'm asking a question and answering. Okay. Why bother with learning what your dreams mean? Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Yeah. Why bother? Why bother? Yeah. Because they're about you. They kind of answered that question that we all ask, who am I? They answer, who am I? All right. They have a lot of your hidden secrets within you. Yes. They help you grow. Yeah. They help you avoid, like, that one dream that I use.
Yep.
They help you avoid dangerous situations.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
They help you get out of dead-end jobs.
Yep.
They help you when there's health problems.
Yes.
They help you know whether or not this is a visit from, someone who crossed over.
Yep.
They help you grow spiritually.
Let me, and by the way, everyone, if you hear a little bark in the back, that's my dog, and I'm trying to keep him quiet, but we're doing our best, so it's okay.
He likes the energy.
He likes the energy. If I let him in here, we'll see what happens. You gonna come in or just be quiet or what? He's a heavy breather, that's why I usually have to keep him out. But it's really funny that whenever I do a lot of these type of interviews, my animals come as my guardians and protect me. He usually just doesn't want to be alone because he's older, but it's really interesting. What I was going to tell you about was I used to see things, obviously, because I'm intuitive and empathic. And my mother, when she passed away, I would always have dreams of her or feel that she was talking to me. And my dad always used to say, I never see her. I never, I can't get it. If I really wish that would happen to me. And I said, well, maybe it will someday. The day before he was going into surgery for his heart, we came in the morning with my sister and he had a dream about her saying he was beaming. He was so happy because this was his true love. She'd been gone for 15 years. And he said, I saw her and she came down like an angel and it was just beautiful. And my heart sank because I knew he was going to die, because I knew that if he ever had that dream, that was going to be it, because there wasn't going to be any time after that. And my sister thought I was crazy. She always thinks I'm crazy. And I walked out of the room and I was like, this is not going to be good. And he did. Right after that surgery, he passed away.
Well,
so that's a big deal that he never saw her before. And then right before he was going into the surgery, which he thought, and a lot of us thought he's just going to be, routine. He'd get out of it fine.
Right.
But I knew that was not the case.
And when it comes to something like that,
yeah.
Okay, because you have to go, see, that's where I could say, well, that's your mom telling him everything's going to be okay. All right. But because that's one way of looking at it.
Okay, that is a way of looking at it. Yep.
Okay, but you knew, and that's what I mean. Like, people get their inner ding, even if they want to ignore it.
Yeah.
You didn't ignore it.
Yeah.
Okay. Your sister, who I'm feeling has more of a logical mind.
She does.
Okay. She's very sweet.
Yep.
Okay. For the most part, very sweet.
Well,
that's how I got it. But she's very logical. And not only that, it's that denial. No, daddy's going to be okay.
Yeah.
All right? But because you do what you do, you trusted that.
Yeah.
But there's also the bonus of that dream is that he's with your mom.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
I
was actually able to see that after, as he was going up and passing, I was actually able to see that, God, I believe in God, but you believe in the universe, whatever. I was allowed to see that, which gave me a lot of closure because I knew that they were together. And just having that little tiny slice of, 20 seconds makes a huge difference for me. Because we can see things that others can't, and it's reassuring. So yes, maybe that was meant not just for me, for him, for my dad to know that it's going to be okay. No matter what happens, it's going to be okay.
Exactly.
Because I'm sure going into open heart surgery, it's very stressful on the patient.
Right.
You're thinking, what the hell? This is scary.
Oh yeah, because anything can take you away, but it's also
happen.
letting you know. Now, probably the reason your father didn't see her, because I'm sure she probably tried to communicate like crazy, is, part of it was grief. Okay. Yeah. But part of it was being very logical. Like, you feel like a cold breeze going by.
Yes.
Oh, no. And I'm sure she probably visited him plenty of times in his dreams. He just didn't remember,
Or
but
he suppressed it. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. There's some people who are just very logical. They don't get it. And quite honestly, those people aren't going to come to me. I usually get the woo-woo, different kind of people. Sometimes I get mainstream, but it's mostly woo-woo.
But that's, I feel like the world's opening up right now, which is the wonderful thing. So everybody that's listening, is the world is changing and that we need it. We all live in a crazy world. I don't care about political parties or where you live. The world's bananas. And we all are waking up to the fact that we all have gifts and all connected. So I'm glad that maybe more people are starting to reach out to you that are not so woo-woo or out there, because these are clues that can really help them navigate their life.
Right. And one of the things that does frustrate me is that there's so many like dream dictionaries, like since I feel your dog's energy, and I heard them, they'll say, what is it? I dreamt about a dog. What does that mean? And then they'll go and they'll look it up and they'll say, oh, it meant this, this, and this. But that doesn't, meant loyalty. It meant
companionship and
unconditional love.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
But it doesn't take in the fact of how was the dog acting? Was he growling? Okay. Was he? Yeah. Was he?
Yeah, of course. That's
even if he was licking you, maybe he was, tenderizing you, getting ready to take a bite out.
Yeah.
Okay. It could also mean that he's acting like a dog, like perverted like.
Right.
Could mean so many different things. And then what was your past experience with dogs? Like, I love dogs. I love animals.
Yeah, me too.
Right? So but somebody who was bitten by a dog or is allergic to dogs or doesn't like dogs, that's going to be a nightmare.
Yes,
and
it will.
That's why when people go and they go to dream dictionaries to find out what they dreams meant, well, that's like going to see what your horoscope is for today. That's for millions of people. But even though you were born on, and I'm just saying July 3rd, all right, I'm just making that up. What time were you? What year? What place were you? With astrology, everything makes a difference.
Everything matters.
Right.
Everything matters.
Your past, and with dreams, it's your past experience, your present experiences, your problems.
Wow.
Because it's all very individualized. It's like, have you ever heard of near-death experiences?
Yes,
I'm
of
sure
course.
you have.
Yep.
Nobody. Okay, there's similarities. They see the white light. Somebody comes and a loved one or some kind of figure comes to see them, right? But nobody has the exact same experience.
No, everyone's different.
And it's the same thing with your dream language. Sure, there's certain things like dogs do mean, as you said, companionship, unconditional love. They can also take a lot more than other people can. They're very loyal.
Yep.
But it depends upon people's interpretation of dogs.
Right, and their experience.
And that's why some people will see Jesus. Some people are going to see Buddha. Someone who doesn't really believe in God might see their parent.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Someone who's a big animal lover might see all their dogs or cats or whatever.
Right.
It's all individualized.
Wow. Do you know right away? I mean, does it take you time to process what someone tells you, or do you know right away, like I just gave you and you just came right out with it? You probably know right away.
Sometimes. And if it's a really long dream, sometimes I'm like, okay, wait a minute, stop. Okay, because it's too much. So sometimes I do need to process it. That's one of the reasons why I kind of like when they send me an email reading, it's easier because I have it all there, so I can go back, because I'll go through it and it'll be like, oh yeah, I meant this. For instance, I had a friend of mine, I went to her shop and she asked me this, and I right off the bat I got three what it could be. It was a very short dream. I don't even remember it, quite honestly. But Chris, he was driving home, right? And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, it could be this. So I text her.
Oh.
So sometimes, like I said, and it was really funny because the other one, she's like, yeah, it could be that. Yeah, that makes sense. But when I text her that, she's like, that's it. So yes, sometimes it's a kind of delayed reaction.
That's the confirmation that you're looking for.
Right.
Yep.
Or again, sometimes it's boom, right away I get it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
sometimes I need to look at it because, like I said, one symbol could mean many different things.
Right.
I call them dream scenes because we have different scenes. You know, you dream of something and all of a sudden you're in someplace else. How do they tie together? It's very intricate.
It's very, very interesting. And I'm going to ask you, I'm going to throw a little monkey wrench at you.
I'll do my best.
Okay. If somebody like myself, who's so intuitive and empathic and can actually feel other people's pain, and can do a lot of different things that would probably seem woo-woo to a lot of people, what would happen if I thought I saw something that was happening to one of my ancestors a couple hundred years ago? That's what I recognize it as. Do you ever have anybody ask you about a dream like that?
Quite honestly, no. Okay.
Okay.
But what it could be is you could be seeing a past life.
Could I be channeling something?
You could be channeling a past life.
Okay.
Or you could be seeing a part of them that you need to help heal.
Well, I don't know, because this guy was tied to a tree and there were Indians there and they were going to make him drink blood and sacrifice one of his crew. He was on a boat. He was my ancestors was captain of a boat. They would always go to Havana to pick up supplies, not slaves, but sugar and things like that. And I saw them get captured one time. So it's night and his hands are behind him like this. He's tied to a tree and there's fire in front of him. And there's native Indians, Americans that live there because they're in their land. And they basically were speaking another language and they were saying, first of all, you have to drink this blood because otherwise if you don't do this, everyone's going to die, including yourself. And you have to sacrifice one person to let everybody else live. And I was like, okay, this must be a past life. I don't know what else it would mean to me specifically because it was a male. I know we can reincarnate and come back in different forms. And I saw it so clearly, Pamela. It was like, it was me. I was like, I was there and I never forgot it. See, this was a little bit ago and I've not forgotten. I was detailed.
Okay.
Detailed.
Right. And that's quite honestly, that sounds like an ancestor's past life. It could be your past life. The only other thing, and I
feel like it was my ancestor and I was channeling because I've had this happen to me before where I've seen and talked to others, but you've come across that, right? I can't be the only one. I'm sure others have come to you with
had past life, not exactly like that, but they have had past life. The other thing, again, it could be representing of like, is there something that you need to sacrifice in your life?
Or let go of?
Let go of. Do you feel like it's keeping you binded? Okay. And that's why you could have had that, because there are past life dreams, obviously.
That's so interesting.
So that's one of the reasons why you could have had it. Or, you just happen to, your, mind tapped into that.
Held it in.
But quite honestly, I believe that everything happens for a reason.
I do too. And since this moon that we had, this black moon and everything that's going on, I think that there's probably some stuff that I can let go of to get to my next level. What about if they're not for us? What if they're for somebody that we love?
Of course, that happens. Because, for instance, your father or somebody who doesn't remember their dreams, it can come in for us. Wow. Especially if it's your significant other and you're laying next to them.
Right.
That can happen.
Right.
And, people who see the premonitions of a loved one, please don't get on this airplane. I had this.
Yes.
And then sadly, you need to let it go. Or, as I mentioned earlier, disasters, the people that you don't know what's going to happen. But sure, it can come in like that.
Right.
It's funny because I just heard John Edwards, and I know what that means because, the medium John Edwards.
Yes, I know he is. Yep.
Sometimes he'll get messages in the audience for somebody who's not there.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So why not our dreams? Of
Frequently.
course we did.
Frequently.
Yeah.
People, when you're for those who have a significant other, and you're laying next together, your heads are together, can you get each other's dreams? I mean, that's possible,
Sure.
right?
Of course it is.
Okay.
Of course it is. Not now, like for instance, I'm sure Chris gets some of my dreams and I probably get some of his dreams, but we might not remember them.
Right.
Okay.
Because it's common for your spouse to come through, and I've seen my spouse in my dreams lots of times. That's
course.
common, right?
Right, of course.
Yeah.
And but not all men, but it seems more men have a harder time remembering their dreams.
Really?
Yes, that's what I've noticed. Not all men.
Okay.
But a lot of men don't remember their dreams as well as women. Well, and it's the same thing with intuition.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And it's just because we're made up different.
Right.
Although they all have it. It can be they don't listen to it.
Right.
But I find it's more men who have trouble remembering their dreams than women.
So interesting.
Yeah.
We could go on about this forever. I mean, we're nearing our end of our time, and I love chatting with you. This is so interesting. I've never met anybody like you. And I think what you're doing is so cool. So what would you like to leave the listeners with today?
Okay, what I'd like.
And it can be a few things. It doesn't have to be just one thing.
Yeah, it is because it's usually not one thing with me. For one thing, please pay attention to your dreams. It's worth the journey because you deserve to learn about who you are. That's why you're on this planet. So record your dreams. Look at your dreams. Please don't go to it's good to learn symbolism, but please pay attention to your feelings. That's so important in the dreams. That can make all the difference. What's going on in your life, your past, and everything else, and listen to your dreams. That's really important. Listen to your dreams, but write them down so you have proof. That's so important. Proof is so important, and give yourself time to learn them.
Right.
They're fascinating. They're fascinating because they're part of you.
They are fascinating. They are incredibly, it's almost like the ones that have that type of depth and detail that I described to you, that stay with you. Those are the ones that they're in color and it's like you're there, like it's real. So those are the ones that seem to, maybe you want to say, pay attention, like you just said, pay attention to those, and maybe go to somebody like you and get some help, because as you said, you can throw out a few things that I probably would never think of because I'm so close to it. I can't see it.
Well, and that's why we need each other. Right. We can't do everything on our own. Sure, certain things we can, but we can't, but but I want to say, even the so-called, I had a client ask me one time, well, what about nonsense dreams? Well, they all seem nonsense. That's why it's good to even remember your small little dreams and because later on you can start piecing together the really big, powerful dreams. Okay. Wow. It's more experience. Right. Okay? It's like you're not going to go and start doing yoga and being able to do, like a back bend right away. Right. It takes time. So it's all the little stretching out your back, whether it's forward or backwards, doing the side bends, all the simple stretches to get you to the big ones. Okay. Yeah, it's just like if you work out, you can't go in and lift all these heavy weights. You've got to start small and build yourself up, and that takes the discipline. So that's such a good analogy that you gave, and I like the analogy. What you said is before bed. So you set the intention. Right. Oh, that's remember my dreams. And then have something close to you, whether it's your iPhone or a pen, paper that you can write down right away. Right. Really quickly. It doesn't have to be really detailed, so you can go back, but just so that you'll remember and it'll jog your memory, right? Right. Like the important things, important things. But most importantly, how did you feel? Because you could dream about a snake going up your arm, right? Yeah. Now, did you feel like, oh, this is really cool? How are you? And the snake's being very loving. Or it's terrifying. Right. Okay. Two totally different things. Exactly. Right? Totally different. But it's the same dream scene. Wow. So your feelings are really important. How can people reach you? What's the best way to do that? Actually, email. Or, social media, but really email. I don't have my phone on my websites because you probably get inundated. I get inundated, but also I get a lot of spammers and people trying to sell me stuff. So I've learned to screen my calls.
Yeah.
And maybe, but yeah, email is the best way, or social media. My Facebook page is a good way.
Okay. So I am going to have all the links for Pamela. I've got all her social media. She's got Pinterest and LinkedIn and Facebook. We've got her website, and you're going to be able to, both websites actually. So I've got everything linked below. So just click on the links below if you'd like to reach out to her. I'm sure she'd love to help you. And I think that this is a really cool thing that you're doing. I can't thank you for being here. I love talking with you about this because it's just so interesting to me. I mean, everybody has dreams, but everyone says, what do they mean? And why do we have them? Well, that's what you do.
Right. And I want to say, nobody has ever said to me that dreams don't mean anything. Even the most logical people know their dreams mean something.
No matter how small they are, because sometimes the smallest ones can. And if you keep a dream journal, that would help you kind of piece things together too, if there's maybe an overall theme, or if you're, as you said, if you're thinking about maybe you have, maybe every month at some point you're having the same thought or the same dream.
The recurring
identify trends and themes, right?
Exactly.
They go along.
Exactly.
Okay.
Every little bit counts.
Yeah. And how you feel.
Oh, that's the most important thing.
That's
how
the
you
most
feel.
important thing. Whether you're scared, whether you're nervous, whether you're happy. Some dreams make you feel great. You feel like, wow, that was an awesome dream. And some dreams you're like, that scared the crap out of me. I'm glad that's over with.
Right. And the intuitive hit that you get, like you said with your ancestor, you intuitively felt like this actually happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like strongly. Yeah.
Yeah. You feel it. So that's really important too.
Right. Right. Because you can have dreams for other people. You can have dreams for loved ones, or they'll be in your dream, because that makes complete sense. Right. So they be with you. So, well, thank you for being here. I love chatting with you. This is awesome.
Thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
It was so fun.
Yeah, I love talking about dreams too. So.
Awesome. All right. Well, I will have all the links below, and you guys, I hope you enjoyed this and enjoy the show, and please comment and share and check out all of her information, because she's amazing at what she does.
Thank you. And thank you for having me.